But there's all this potential when we have the courage to go inward, to begin to reflect on who we truly are. That is a valuable asset. That is a man of worth. That is a man of potential. But if we're fed so long these lies, these deceptions, these narratives that tell us that we need to be pushed to the side, to step aside, to relinquish our power, then we begin adopting that. If you're told it for so long and sold it for so long. Gentlemen, what's going on? Beautiful morning here in the Midwest. I wish you guys a great day as you're watching this. We live in a world today where if it gets difficult, if it gets old, if it has no apparent use to us, we throw it out. We throw it in the garbage. It's disposable. We'll find something better. We'll find something of more value. But this is the Better Man channel, where we choose to put away that bullshit, that mindset that there's always something new, there's always something better. We go to work on what we have. The grass is not always greener on the other side. We start watering our grass. We start fertilizing our yard representing us. You're not going to tell me that I'm disposable. You're not going to tell me that I have no value, but the value of man is being diminished in the current culture. And think about it. We've always been seen as kind of a disposable asset, man. In history, we've been thrown into the front lines of war. We have the most difficult jobs, those jobs that are life or death in many instances, but are the very backbone of the infrastructure of this country, this nation. You see it in divorces, man. Women are instigating a higher percentage of the divorces. The courts just aren't in line with men in that system. Family courts not in line with the men. We live in a state today where it's like mother, woman knows best for the children. Guys are pushed to the side, marginalized in many areas of culture. And then in the current landscape, we're blamed for a lot of the atrocities, the apparent atrocities and the oppression of society in terms of patriarchy. Patriarchy built this country, but for some reason now we're using that freedom that patriarchy is enabled to push men out of their roles and to say that they are disposable, that we have no value, that if we can do it, then women can do it just as good or even better. And so men have this disposable target on our backs that if we're not producing financially, that if we're not producing in an effective manner according to someone's standard, then boom, push them to the side. We see this in the sexual market value, man. Women are always trying to level up. We see this in many areas of our life where if you're not the best, we're pushing you to the side. And if you hear something for long enough, you're going to believe that it's truth. We see generations of men that this has been pushed upon for so long that they're confused, right? We hear this from women. We hear this from the nation. Where are all the good men? Where are the strong men? Well, you've told us not to be strong. You've said that we're disposable. And if it hasn't been verbally said, it's been implicitly said, and we're implicitly understanding that you're saying we have no true value, we have no true worth. You're saying that women are just as equal as us. And listen, I believe in equality for both sexes when they embrace their true roles, their true strengths. Men are strong for what they are and the characters they represent. When we begin to diminish that, we see men resigning themselves to the corners of society saying, listen, I don't know what the hell you guys expect of me, but you treat me like a disposable asset, so I'm going to remove myself from whatever's going on in your guys' arena. But once men remove themselves from that, then where's our identity? Where's our purpose? Where's our meaning? And we see a lot of men struggling with that. Like, where do I fit in? You know, there's a piece of this puzzle, and I want a purpose. I want a meaning. I don't want to just resign myself from what society is. You know, I want to fit in and find my place. And so there's this struggle going on, and there's this turmoil, man. Imagine your identity is to be a man, to be strong, to be leader, but society says we no longer need you. You're disposable. We push you to the side, whatever. And so there's a lot of men in this state, man, and that can be angry. That can lead to a lot of bitter, a lot of resentment. You're married 10 years, you get divorced, everything's taken from you, kids taken from you, pushed to the side. You've worked hard all your life to create an existence, to create meaning, to create purpose, and then boom, that rug's swept out from under you. The floor that you've been standing on is torn down. The legs that you've been standing on are swiped away. Everything that you know has been torn away from you. And you're like, well, what the hell's left? Here's the deal. You're not disposable. You are a man of value. Being a man just in and of itself has so much potential, right? And without sounding chauvinistic or gender phobia or whatever the hell society comes up with all these damn idiotic terms, you're a man. A man has value. Man has been needed since antiquity. There's value in being a man. Now, don't get me wrong. Spending 20 hours a day gaming, being 100 pounds overweight, being a lazy ass with no goals, no direction, no action. There's not much value in that. But a man, just the very structure of a man, the very body and essence of being a man has unlimited potential. Look at what all great things men have done throughout time. Innovations, inventions, ideas, philosophies, government, strength, power. Look at all the things that men have accomplished. You are not a disposable asset. There's some greatness in there, but again, once you've been told and sold this idea that you are disposable, it's easy to pick up that mindset. And so we can be confused. We can be lost. We can be on them shaky legs where we really have no foundation. We have no direction to go because what the hell? Everybody's treating me like a disposable asset. It seemingly appears that I'm a disposable asset. Laws are seemingly, or not even seemingly, laws are against me in many areas of my life. I'm putting in the work. I'm working on myself. I'm doing what it takes to become the man, that innate nature within me that says, be man, be strong, be a leader, be a provider, be a protector. Yet society says we no longer need that. We no longer need the very nature of man, the very nature that created this badass country that we live in. We don't need it anymore. We're calling left, right, up, and down. And if you push that agenda, if you push that ideology on men for so long, generation after generation, what do you expect when we see this weak culture we're in now? Where there are no strong men. There are a lack of men's voices. There's a lack of men in homes. There's a lack of men in true leadership. And we wonder why there's chaos. Because we've created it by marginalizing men, telling them they're disposable, treating them as if they're disposable. And look, the sun's rising, man. The sun is rising on this saying, listen, you're not disposable. We're going to speak truth and we're going to bring that to light. You are not a disposable asset. You're not something that can be thrown in the garbage. You may believe that, and it may bring about confused states, but we're going to have the courage to go after the truth. And Nietzsche says that we can only advance in the truth in correlation with our courage. Right? For too long, we've been sitting on the sidelines. And you may not want to call it fear, but that's what it is. Man, that's the harsh reality. We've been afraid to step up and speak. We've been afraid to say, you know what? I'm not going to take this shit anymore. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to fulfill my role. I'm going to find meaning in who I am, and that is man. And then there's going to be different avenues and channels that flow from that. But first and foremost, I'm a man. And I'm going to begin to explore that. Like Nietzsche says, you have to go inward into that inward state. You have to have the courage to remove yourself from the lies. You have to have the courage to remove yourself from those limited ideologies. You have to have the courage to remove yourself from that false narrative. And in today's climate, it's not politically correct to say, you know what? I'm a man. I choose masculinity. I choose patriarchy. I choose to live out my innate nature. We have to have the courage to do that. And when we have the courage to seek that ultimate truth, then we're going to find this new level, this new will to live, this new will to be man. And Nietzsche talks about that. When you go inward, you find this richness. And it's not necessarily a richness to the outer world or a material thing. It's this richness that really can't be named, right? And imagine when you find out something new, or find out something that you believed is a lie. You know, you come to that red pill awareness and you're like, And it leaves you a little vulnerable, kind of a little fragile. You're a little bruised because it's refreshing, but you're like, man, it's like a newborn coat kind of coming out and they're a little wobbly on their legs. But there's all this potential when we have the courage to go inward, to begin to reflect on who we truly are. That is a valuable asset. That is a man of worth. That is a man of potential. But if we're fed so long these lies, these deceptions, these narratives that tell us that we need to be pushed to the side, to step aside, to relinquish our power, then we begin adopting that. If you're told it for so long and sold it for so long, you buy into it. I want to tell you to get rid of that. Remove that negative thinking. You're a man capable of so much more than lazy idleness, of less than thoughts, of less than standards, of comparing yourself with less than people, with less than bullshit. Anybody that tells you you're disposable, woman, man, government, policies, whatever it may be, that's bullshit. Remove that from your thinking. And I don't mean to be some arrogant, prideful, egotistical maniac, but you're a damn good man, and there's something to be proud of that. And when we go to work on that and believe that and work in different areas of our lives to improve that, we are a valuable asset. We're not disposable. You can't throw us to the trash. But we have to be willing to do the work. Like Nietzsche said, you have to go inward, find out who you are, remove all the bullshit, right? We think becoming better, we have to add something. If I add this, if I add that. No. Society's been pouring so much garbage on us. It's time that we start removing that pile of junk, get back to that inward man of who the hell I am. Think of the man of antiquity. They didn't have all these distractions. They went inward on a daily basis. Who am I? What can I do to get better? Better shelter, better food, better resources. They were a valuable asset because it was life or death for them. And we need to get that mentality. Not so much that it's life or death anymore, but that we are a valuable asset. We are required. There's some great things that we possess that not other people can do. And when we adopt that mentality and mix it with some action and get off the couch and get off the gaming 20 hours a day and get out of that negative, poor me, pitiful mindset, we're going to start seeing a shift in the change of whether men are disposable or not. We're going to bring that value. We're going to bring that asset back to reality. We're going to remove ourselves from the shadows and plant ourselves back in the middle of society as we should be and take that leadership role. And again, just for the politically correct leftists and liberals out there, I'm not saying that man's better than woman. Each one, when they embrace their strengths, my God, it's a beautiful, functional society, and we've seen it in the past. Neither one of the sexes are disposable. We need both. We got to start applauding each other's strengths, quit diminishing each other's power. Men are needed. God, men are needed. Look at society in its current state. You are a valuable asset. Tell yourself that every day. But not only tell yourself, we got to begin to mix that with action. In our physical area, let's get up and move. Let's be strong. Emotional, let's go to work on that. Let's keep those in check. Let's know what they're there for. Let's regulate those emotions. Spiritually, let's have a higher purpose, a higher direction. Intellectually, let's be sharp. Let's be wit. Let's have some intellectual capacity to carry ourselves in the social economics of life. Let's be that well-rounded man that goes to work on himself, that people look and say, damn, that's what a man is supposed to be. We can't have excuses. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. Society's against us in this current state as it is. Let's go to work on who we are. Let's kick ass. Let's be the man of value that we truly are capable of becoming. You're a man. That's a start. That's a good start to becoming a badass. Now we put in the work. You're not disposable. Society is ignorant for ever putting that belief in men. We are of value. Let's take back our place, take back our sovereignty, but we're going to have to put in the work to do it. And first and foremost, we have to be aware that we are of value, but it takes work to improve that and stand upon that. I love you guys. You'll hear me next episode.